Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two dumb Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
What's up? Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 785 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. I want to say to everybody this morning, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Good morning to Jen on the board. Always great seeing Jen on the board. She says, good morning, Steeler fam. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. A lot of things going on today. This is a game week for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's right. In just 4 days, we'll be waking up to for a day of a Steeler game. It's a time that people in Pittsburgh enjoy like no other. Everybody, we're going to get into that and a lot more today. But first, how are you doing today, Michael?
I'm doing good, my friend. I am Steeler game week. You know, I like it's starting to set in that we're going to see live Steeler action here in a couple of days. I'm getting fired up, brother.
Yeah, everybody's excited. I know that everyone's chomping at the bit to get into this. A lot of people are going to say, well, it's only preseason. I don't know how excited I'm going to be. But, Mike, I got to be honest with you. At the end of the day, it is the Steelers. It's our squad. And we're going to get to take a look at a lot of guys that we're curious to see how they're going to turn out. I mean, there's a lot of there are question marks on this team, albeit it does seem like things are going good so far in camp as we are keeping up day to day on everything. The guys are back at camp today. They had yesterday off. Preparing and doing some fine tuning and getting ready for the Jacksonville game this week, Mike. And again, preseason as always, it's a little bit different of a beast, but at the end of the day, I do love it because I could always, as we said, we could go look at rookies, we could go look at free agents, we could look at trades, whoever came here in the offseason and take a look at the differences from last year and what it is that we could do differently to get a different outcome, Mike. And the big news this morning is the Steelers depth chart was released. The depth chart, I want to throw this out there. It means nothing at this point. The league just requires it at this point. We're going to go over the depth chart here shortly. Mike Tomlin, it could be a million different things between now and the beginning of September. But this is what it is now. We'll get into that in just a moment, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Mike, a lot of things going on this week. RB, good morning to you on the board as well, sir. RB says, I'm genuinely always excited for preseason games. I'm a draft guy, so I really get to see how my evaluations are looking and see second, third year improvements on others. Me too. This is, listen, I mean, of course, the games that mean something always mean something, and those games are always going to be important. But following these kind of games is where you learn a lot about your team. And again, if you watch the preseason, you're not sitting there in week 3 going, "Oh wait, who's number 21? Who's number 36?"
Right.
You know, you get acclimated early to your squad, and you're prepared come time for September and forward. So, guys, again, a lot of things going on this week. The Steelers back at camp today. We got some stories up to the moment from camp. Also, some other things. And again, the big news today is the release of the depth chart around the league. They're required to have their depth chart in. So, Tallman and company did turn in their depth chart at the moment. What it looks like, again, we'll go over that in just a few minutes here. But Michael, motorcycle brother, listen, we got in 4 days, we're going to be traveling down to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. Again, not much meaning in this game, but at the end of the day, you learn a lot from these kind of games, don't you?
Yes, I am. I'm excited. You do you learn some stuff. You learned, I don't know. You learn like who's going to be ready for the season, who's looking good, who's better in practice than in game, who's a better practicer than an actual game day performer. Because you see this all the time. Like so and so's having a great camp, and they get out there and they fizzle out. You hear so and so, oh man, they're having trouble in practice. They're not looking good. That they get out in game and they're so much better. So that's one of the things I like to see, like who's better at practice and who's better at the actual game.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And again, this gives us those opportunities. And after the game this week against Jacksonville, we do come home to play Tampa Bay in a little less than 2 weeks here. And then I believe we finish it up with Carolina, then a week off, and then we do head up to New York to play the Jets. And it's all a go from there. So, guys, we are getting prepared for that as we head into football season for the NFL. Let me grab a couple of these messages, Mike. I do got some things I do want to get started with today, but let me grab some messages first. RB says, unfortunately, Tomlin is all about running it 78 times a game in preseason. And that's the thing. And that might be a good thing as well. Nobody really puts out their A plan in preseason. You're just out to look and see if the guys are prepared, getting them ready, who's got it, who doesn't, and so forth. So, I don't want to put too much out on the table, certainly in preseason. And, a lot of the times, a lot of these guys aren't even going to be on the team, come a month from now. So it be what it be. Send your vanilla game plan out, package out, and again, see what you could execute from that. And from then you move on. Good morning to Jamal. Jamal on the board, my man. He says, man, y'all hear about McLaurin trolling us like Ayuk did. And I was somewhat suspicious of this, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's just odd. It's scary odd that, here we are again, heading into the season, no legit wide receiver 2, and we're getting played once again by another, what seems to be a pretty darn good wide receiver. And I say that because I think that we've dodged the bullet with Brandon Ayuk, guys. Again, I mean, he's had nothing but issues ever since the moment he trolled us. So at the end of the day, I'm not pissed about that. But go ahead, Mike.
I just want to figure out like how McLaurin's trolling us.
I don't know. Jamal, give us. Mike. Yeah. I don't know. Let him answer.
Yeah. Because all I saw was like he asked for a trade, and then everyone and their mother's jumping on that. He's going to come to Pittsburgh. We want him in Pittsburgh, and blah blah blah. I just don't know what he has.
That's why I didn't even debate it, Mike, because I figured maybe he has some information, and I was going to get around to that. So Jamal, if you do have any scoop on that particular comment, I would love to hear it. He follows it up by saying Queen was the Unk and Ocho show last night.
I missed that.
Yeah, I did too. Oh, he was on the Unk and Ocho. Gotcha. RB says, I keep seeing Brown's depth charts. I laugh at all the comments that hate Flacco and want Sanders. It makes me chuckle. The rest of the room combined in their career won't sniff Flacco. Tortilla, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Tortilla on the board. Tortilla says Brown's got 6 quarterbacks on payroll right now. And I do know that their depth chart looks like this. Joe Flacco is, at the moment, their starter. Kenny Pickett is their backup. He lost his position. He was ahead of the pack before he got hurt. Now he's in number 2. Dylan Gabriel, Mike, he's really, really struggling. Some people in that organization says they don't even think he could play quarterback in the NFL. He's actually in 3rd, a little injured right now, banged up. And then bringing up the rear, Shedeur Sanders, which is I can't. Again, for the Browns, I don't think it could be any better. If this is another team, I might feel bad for the guy, but this is Cleveland Browns clown shit, and I'm here for it. I'm loving every minute of it, and who knows what the hell's going to happen with the Shedeur Sanders situation. That's Cleveland's problem to deal with.
Exactly. That's, hey, the league colluded against him, brother, like that one fan said that was suing the NFL.
Yeah. Let's see. Jamal, yeah, my mom is from Cleveland. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. I really am.
Him and Derby have something in common.
I'm going to be honest, though. I've traveled to Cleveland quite often. I went to quite a few NBA games in my time. I like Cleveland as far as the city goes. It's an easy city to get in and out of. It's a pleasant city. I've never had any issues. As a matter of fact, it's all been great times. Anytime I've gone up to the Mistake by the Lake. But it's football season, so while that's going on, it's the town of the Browns. That's it is what it is. And then his mom also forced him to buy her a Shedeur. You know what? If that's your squad, I'm cool with that, man. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Derpy's mom is also a Browns fan, as Mike said. So for some reason it happens. I don't get it, but it happens. Jen says the Browns is the Browns. They need another quarterback like I need another hot flash. Always great hearing from Jen on the board. Jen says, I'm sorry, Jamal. I'm sorry to hear about your mom. Let's see. RB says, Ryan, I agree, but you can't evaluate a young quarterback in game situation when he hands off 34. For sure. And you know what? They're going to throw the ball. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I was going to back last year's.
Because you're getting a look at everybody. You're not, you're getting a look at in preseason, Mike, you're getting receivers, you're getting a look at tight ends.
Yeah.
You're getting a look at pass protection. So, I think that Mason and I think that Will Howard are going to get ample playing time. And I think they're going to get ample opportunities to throw the ball around in the preseason, Mike. Again, these games mean nothing. If they go out and throw the ball 30 times a game, which they're not going to, it still wouldn't matter. They're just getting a look at what we have going on and taking a look at the guys.
Yeah, I was looking at their stuff from last year, and they threw it a lot the first two preseason games. So
Vegas says, good morning to Vegas. I do want to say good morning, sir. Always great seeing you on the board as well, my friend. He says we have 4 tight end formations. They have 4 quarterback formations. Cleveland.
Hell yeah, brother.
RB
got to keep them on their toes.
McLaurin wants to be the number 1 and make the same as DK, so I don't think this is the right place for him. When it comes down to dollars and cents, it doesn't really make a lot of it. And then John, always great seeing you on the board, my friend. Hope all is well out in Las Vegas, sir. He says adding another real hungry wide receiver mouth who wants to be the number 1 guy when the Steelers can't produce with what they have is another fantasy. And RB also comes along and says we are a week or 2 from calling Green Bay or Houston for a receiver. Thankfully, it shouldn't cost much, seeing as Houston spent the offseason building a 7-on-7 all-star team. And we got a lot of comments and a lot of things to talk about today. Might go back to a lot of these comments. So let's get started. I want to start with some injury. Let me talk about the injuries and people real quick. Let me grab Jamal because he's replying, Mike, to the question asked. McLaurin said he would take less money to come to us. Okay,
I didn't see that. I know he said, like, I saw one article saying, like, about his contract. He wants it similar to DK's, but not like the same amount of money or average value, just like some of the language in there. That's what I saw. So that might be why he's saying, hey, what they have for DK, won't you guys give me that? Okay.
I mean, and at this point in the game, if you're going all in, I have a theory, and I state it often. If you're going all in, don't be half-assed. And if you're going to go all in for a championship, spend the money. And if you're not, you're not. I don't know. That's all you can really say. At the end of the day, it's not my money. I'm all in. I want to see this team win a Super Bowl this year. I don't know about you guys. So in my mind, take the money, give it to whoever it takes. Don't go half-ass, going all in, because again, you're going to spend a bunch of money in places that maybe you shouldn't have just to get a half-ass job done. If you're going to go all in, go for the gold. That's my opinion. And sort it out later. I don't know. I'm ready to see this team win in January. That's where I'm at, guys. And if it's going to cost them money, I'm fine with that. Let's see. On RB also says I don't care to see Mason or Rodgers outside of 2 drives. Unfortunately, I think you're going to see a lot of Mason. Skylar Thompson's probably going to be back end work. Aaron's going to get his his initial drive, whatever it is, however they start things off. But I got to say, between quarter 2 and quarter 3, it's going to be a lot of Will Howard and Mason Rudolph. Of course, we know what Mason brings to the table, but they want him to get work. You know that in game time. and also a lot of looks at Will Howard, of course, I think is as a priority. Vegas need to get as many pass blocking reps as possible for Johnson in the preseason. I have heard for a lot of people. I mean, the offensive line, very curious to see what's going on there. We have a tackle situation. We have situations, guys. RB, I don't want to see Skylar Thompson at all. Neither do I. At this point, I don't know why he's on the team, but they're carrying 4. I don't know if they'll continue to do so, but that's what we got. Jen says, show them the money, get some playmakers, and that's where I'm at the end of the day. Again, don't go half-ass if you're going all in. Otherwise, you're just wasting. You're just wasting. Go all in. Vegas says, like Big Daddy Kane said, ain't no half-stepping. That's right, baby. Hey, I tell you what, Vegas, I think everybody remembers those, Mike, those Columbia House CDs, and you spend a penny and you get 36 of them or something crazy like this. That was my very first CD I ever had was Big Daddy Kane. I don't, Big Daddy Kane and CNC Music Factory. Gonna make you sweat.
CNC Music Factory, yeah.
Those were my 2 first free CDs as a child, and I'm still getting hounded on those CDs.
Columbia House is coming for you, brother.
I know.
They don't stop.
Tortilla says Terry wants to be the wide receiver 1, though, and I'm pretty sure the Steelers didn't want to tell DK his wide receiver 2 after giving him $33 million a year. RB said, I said that on Friday. That's what he should do, and that's what he's been doing since Saturday. John says, even money won't fix the left tackle issue. No one team gives up their studs. Broderick Jones has to step up. No two ways about that. And it's unfortunate that this is where a lot comes down to this, guys. And as good as we could be, our defense could be great, like a lot of people think it may be. The offense could be improved, like a lot of people think it's going to be. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to protect your quarterback's backside. And unfortunately, that seems to be the weakest link on this team right now, which got to concern you. But at the end of the day, if he can't do it, Mike, somebody's got to be able to step up. And again, we'll be able to see all that this weekend and a lot more. Vegas says I used to order those in Daryl Strawberry's name.
He was so high half the time, brother. He wouldn't even know if he ordered them or not.
And I do have to say, Vegas, I was a big Daryl Strawberry fan as a kid too. I did. I liked the Mets.
Like growing up when we did, who was not a doc? God, who was the pitcher?
He said, "Who was the? What was his name? I don't
know. The pitcher. I'm pulling a derpy here.
Oh, I know.
Daryl Strawberry, and I almost said Doc Rivers.
I know it is. I'm just letting you struggle a little bit.
You know who I'm talking about.
Of course, Dwight Gooden.
I almost said Doc Holliday.
And that was yes, I did. I liked the Mets a lot as a kid growing up. I like their colors. Say what you want. I liked them because of their colors. And then I found that they had a good team, so that worked as well. Ryan's getting pounded on CDs. Well, you wouldn't believe the interest on that 36 cents.
CDs, man, he's getting hit with 8 tracks that he bought back in the day. On credit.
Jen says, how many passes will be available in Arthur Smith's offense? Run the ball. Who really wants to play if you're a big name wide receiver? And that's what I think everybody hears this about this Arthur Smith offense, but nobody really hopes to see it play out the way that is going to send us back 30 years. People always say, move forward. You can't play the Steeler way anymore if you want to keep up in this league. So what do? We put together a run-heavy, multiple tight end game plan, and we're going backwards in direction. So we will see. I don't understand it either. People say one thing, and then another thing happens, so I guess we will have to find out. RB says the Johnson pass blocking shit is getting out of hand. We're a run-heavy team. Who gives a shit about him being a great pass blocker? Just make an attempt when you have to. That's what third down backs are for. And as you've seen on the depth chart, we will go over that. Caleb Johnson is indeed the third down back at this point. Ralph, my friend, good morning to you on the board. Always great seeing Ralph Williams on the board, sir. And John says, at this point, I would always put Washington on the left side with Jones. Desperate measure requires desperate measures. Or desperate times require desperate measures. And I guess with the guy that big, why not stick his ass over on that side and have him chip, have him do something? Because again, this Broderick Jones thing, it's got to improve, Mike. It has to. And the concerning part is it's only been going on for 3 years. I'm sure they'll fix it in no time.
Well, they're hoping last year was like his sophomore slump. Some players go through that. And right now, it's not looking like he's going to come out of it, but we don't know until we see it in game action. He could just be having bad practices. I want to see how he's going to do in the game on the left side, and then we'll go from there. And, this team was going to run a lot of 2 tight end sets anyway. So, there's ways to mitigate, hide his lackluster pass ability.
Mike,
It's not like we're running five wides every
Mike. It's a
fucking game.
17-game season. The thing is, let's say you do well early on with your 23 tight end set. Eventually, the league learns you, and eventually the team figures out what you're doing, and eventually you have to make adjustments. I'm just wondering how far we could veer off of what it is that we can do to where we fall into that area of things that we can't do because of our hands being tied because of this position.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how they do it.
Okay,
but there's ways to scheme around his shortcomings.
I hope you're right. I still haven't learned what they are. I've been watching football a long time, and a left tackle is a very, very probably one of the 3 most important positions on the field. So I mean, it's going to be, we're going to learn a lot, guys. RB says Philly just won a Super Bowl that way. I mean, if you're willing to commit and go back in time, I mean, and the thing is, you gotta commit, and you got to get guys who has been used to catching passes their whole lives. They have to commit to this old style offense. Of course, Philadelphia did do it. They're kind of built to do it, and I don't know if we're built to do it. We're building, I think, to be that kind of offense, Mike. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to say the least.
We ran the ball 51% of the time last year. We ran it like 34
because we couldn't pass
more times than we passed. Now with this offense, is the weapons and the quarterback that we have now. That should skewer just a little bit more towards the pass. But a 50-50 run-pass ratio, that's not some old-school ground-and-pound offense. It's, that's a balanced offense. Everyone wants to talk about
Mike,
having
the
a
offensive
balanced
coordinator
offense.
has all the pieces in its place. He's going to run more of the offense he wants to run, which he had to kind of get away from because we obviously were in a shitty position last year with a bunch of injuries on offense, linemen missing, plugging and playing linemen. So, now the offensive coordinator has his ideal situation. It's going to be, I'm curious to see how that is going to play moving forward. Is the run attempts going to go up? Is the pass? I'm reading this morning that Aaron Rodgers in the offense, it's not clicking. There's things going on at practice that looks good. Yes, they're going up against the number 1 defense. Quote, we don't know this yet, what we hear. But the offense, it looks like it's having a difficult time clicking. And at this point in the season, it's not a problem. It's not an issue, but it's certainly something to keep in mind. So, again, what this offense is going to be able to do and what they're capable of, I think are going to be 2 different stories. Again, we're going to learn more about that over the next month to a degree, but we'll certainly be learning a little bit more about that here in a little over a month in against the Jets. Let's get back on the board here, guys. I don't want to get behind today. Vegas says if you're a running back and can't pass block, you're never going to play on a third and medium or worse. Tortilla says Broderick is just faking it for the cameras to fool the Ravens. Imagine that. Imagine if the Broderick Jones is outsmarting everybody. That'd be an interesting turn. John says Johnson has to block to become the third down back, drafting a running back who never had to block in college and expect him to do it. And the NFL wasn't a smart pick.
Yeah, that's why they have Jalen Warren back there. That's why they're not penciled in as the starter.
We'll get into that in just a moment because Jalen is in at the starter, but he kind of shares it with. I'll get into that in just a moment. Vegas says Arthur can invent the 3 left tackle set. That may be what we need. RB says the problem with Jones is they have him jump setting, and you can't jump set in zone rear. Smith apparently jumped all over the O-line about jump setting. John says blocking running back is necessary with an immobile quarterback. Absolutely. We gotta keep use everything that we can do to keep this quarterback off the ground, guys. And again, it's going to be interesting. RB says Weedle built Philly. He's now building us. That's what the plan was. Start with the interior line and work your way out. And again, where we started was with Broderick Jones. So put that into consideration as well. Tortilla says Johnson was a fantastic pick. I like Johnson, and we needed a running back. And I know that everybody was ready for Najee to go. So I'm cool with it. Let's see if he could match the production. That's all I'm saying. John said there were other Ds that are just as good in the NFL. The offense has to produce to be successful postseason. Absolutely. We have to improve offensively. if it's going to be a defense carrying this team all season long, that is not good. And again, we're not going to win much in the playoffs. Wide receiver 2, RB says wide receiver 2 has been awful. There have been 9 catches all at camp from wide receiver 2. But who expects Austin or Wilson to beat Porter often? Good point, but these guys are going to be facing good DBs every week in, week out in the regular season. So a lot of things to talk about, Mike, a lot of concerns, excuse me, on the board. Let's get to it, though. I want to start off with the injuries, guys. The big injury for the week is, of course, Alex Highsmith. Alex Highsmith, Mike, growing concerns that this man's groin is becoming a problem. Yes, his groin is becoming a problem. Alex Highsmith from 2021, he had a groin strain in 21. In 23, he had a minor groin strain, which he played through. In 24, he had a groin strain in training camp. In 24, just a few weeks later, he had a groin strain in week 3, missed 3 games. And now in training camp in 2025, out with a groin. Mike, this guy's groin, huh?
Right? We haven't talked about a groin like this in Pittsburgh since Yarmer Yager's groin back in the day.
Well, sure. Yeah, we talk about my groin all the time on this show.
I thought that was off air. I just have the camera on for effect. But yeah, he hasn't missed games up until last year. So now, okay, he's battled through it, but last year he couldn't, and that now I'm worried about that. We need him out there because we have a nice 4-man rotation out there, and we see what happens once we start losing a guy. We can't rotate those guys in. We can't start moving guys around the way we want to because we don't have the pieces in place that we need to can do their job. So shut him down, let him get it right. He knows the defense. Let's get more reps for Highsmith. Let's get more reps for Sawyer and go from there. Just let him rest for the season because I don't want it to be a continuation of last year where he lost time. He missed 6 games last year. That's huge because he's a big part of this defense.
Absolutely.
What? Yeah,
one thing that I do like to say, though, people that are behind him, Mike, of course, one of them being Nick Herbig. Nick Herbig does come out this week and talk about rushing the passer is fun, but he takes great pride in defending the run. I like the mindset, Mike. Again, if he has the size, I don't know if he. Again, you're keeping up with some pretty big guys on the end. But again, Nick Herbig is one of the people that will be following in his place, Mike, and keeping up. Again, Alex Highsmith is out with an injury, and I like Nick Herbig. So that's encouraging to hear as well, Mike.
And Herbig might not be able to take those guys head on, but he is allowed to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge around these guys too, and that's where his quickness and agility comes into play. If he can sneak around these guys and shoot the gap and make the play, stopping the run. I don't care if he can't meet these beefy 350-pound linemen head on and hold an edge the way Highsmith does, but if he can loop around them or cut inside of them and get that shoestring tackle on the running back or force him back to the inside into pressure, I'll take it. Stop the run no matter how you can do it.
But you got to be able to do this,
consistently. You got to do it.
Play in, play out, game in, game out. And that's my concern with somebody like Herbig. It's going to take a beating on a smaller guy. It's science. You know what I mean?
You can't take a beating if they can't hit you.
Well, they're going to hit you, man. These are big boys.
They'll find a way to hit you.
They play in a big league. They'll figure it out.
You know what I mean, though? If you're shifty, man, you can get around it.
Yeah. John says, Mike, I agree. So when Warren is in, it'll be a pass tail. It's possible. Tortilla says, the real question is which practice squad player will be starting by week 6. Jen says, Ramon Foster said that Dan Moore is doing great in Tennessee. Game time, we will see. Makes me wonder how much is Pat Meyer.
Dan Moore just sucks. Dan Moore had a good half season last year, then fell apart.
Half more season better than our left tackles have, and I can tell you that. RB says Rogers is not immobile. Watch tape and stop believing everything you hear. Is he Lamar? No. Is he prime Rogers? No. Is he last 3 years of Ben? I know, but I'm still. Again, he still is 42 years old, and you always got to keep that in the back of your mind as well. You just aren't the same person as you were in your 20s or even in your 30s. While you're in your 40s, of course. John says Peaches can fix Highsmith's groin like Mr. Miyagi. Wax on, wax off, right? Tortilla says,
hell yeah, John.
John says, I'm sorry, Tortilla says that John Warren is starting, bruh. He can run and catch. Johnson will be the giveaway, just like Najee was, but Johnson is a better fit. And we got Kenneth Gainwell also, guys, who's going to be lining up in third downs in different situations as well. And who knows, you might even see Mark Robinson in the backfield from time to time to keep people off on their toes. Jen says Alexa just told her that the Steelers are the underdog in Saturday's game. They may be. They may be. I don't doubt you. Tortilla says he'll donate his groin. Let's see. John says TJ, good point. All right. That was on the Warren comment. Let's see. And then also Jamal says heard Spencer Anderson is playing pretty good. The offense. All right, let's get into it, guys. So first we talked about the Alex Highsmith injury. We did sign somebody yesterday, Mike. Who did we sign yesterday? We signed a cornerback for Daryl Porter Jr.
Yeah.
Steelers have signed former Miami and West Virginia quarterback Daryl Porter Jr. Porter has been with the Bills earlier in the offseason, Mike. So there's another position to add to the depth. Again, we're going to get into the roster, the depth chart in just a moment to give you a better idea of what our depth looks like. Mike, any tales on Daryl Porter Jr.?
No. Just another warm camp body to have out there. That's all I got. That's all I noticed on him. It's a guy who bounced around. His dad played in the NFL at one point.
Yes, of course. Yeah. RB said, if all halfbacks do is block, how do they have catches and receiving yards? This is the only team I hear who prioritizes blocking over the running ability. I mean, you're right. It shouldn't be a priority over their running ability, but to be able to block is certainly
huge.
It's certainly an asset, no two ways about it. Guys, let's get into it. Just as this morning, just because the league requires it, it wasn't because the team was ready or even wanted to. Mike Tomlin did submit the roster depth chart for the Pittsburgh Steelers, as all teams are required to do so. Guys, let's take a look at what our depth chart does look like at the moment, Mike. Our starting offense at this point, of course, would be Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. They have Jaylen Warren at the number one tailback spot, the running back position. Kenneth Gainwell is number 2, and Caleb Johnson is number 3. As we speak, of course, we have a little over a month of the regular season, and I'm sure things are going to change. And again, as I said, the teams just are required to hand these in. So we are going to go over them just so we know what's going on at the moment, but I'm sure there will be changes, guys. The starting fullback, they have marked as Connor Hayward. Your starting wide receivers, DK Metcalf and Calvin Austin III. Starting tight ends, Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington. I tell you what, this 33 tight ends thing just better work out. That's all I got to say. If not, this is going to be one of the biggest. All right, just bear with me here. And then our offensive line looks like this, Mike. As far as the starters go, Zach Frazier is our center. We all know this. Mason McCormick and Isaac Ciamalo are our guards. Troy Fatano is our right tackle. And, of course, Broderick Jones is our left tackle on the depth chart. Mike, anybody in the first in the starting lineup that you have any problems with?
No.
All right.
Nope.
All right, let's move on to behind them. Their backups looks like this. The number 2 quarterback, of course, at the moment is Mason Rudolph. The number 2 running back is Kenneth Gainwell. The number 2 tight ends are Jonnu Smith and Connor Hayward. Number 2 wide receivers are Robert Woods and Scotty Miller. And your backup offensive line looks like this. Your center is Ryan McCollum. Your guards are Max Sharping and Spencer Anderson. And your tackles are Dylan Cook and Calvin Anderson. Mike, your second team offense.
The second team offense.
These guys could be, Mike, they could be starters at any given play.
Yeah, like McCollum, Anderson, I'm very, very comfortable with. Dylan Cook looks like what I'm hearing in camp is getting better week after week, looking like he can be a solid, if one of those guys goes down or underperforms, a solid piece in there. Jonnu Smith, my God, it's, him or Freiermuth can be the starter. I think we'll see a lot of Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith out there, so I like that right there. Kenneth Gainwell, I like. Mason Rudolph, he is a backup quarterback in the NFL, so I like that right there. And the receivers, we're running 45 tight ends, so what does it matter?
Exactly.
You ain't need no wide receiver 2 if you don't play wide receiver 2.
Third string, here's what it looks like, Mike. I'm not going to go through all these
Yeah.
because there's some spots missing because there's not exactly three spots for every position. But let me give you some names of interest, Mike. Your third string quarterback at this moment, of course, is Will Howard. Your third string wide receiver, Roman Wilson, and your other third string wide receiver, Rock Taylor. We were hoping to get good news from Roman Wilson this offseason, but I got to be honest with you guys. I'm hearing the opposite. I'm hearing that he's having a hard time. Let me see if I can find it. If I can find it, I'll certainly tell you what it was that I saw. Okay, here it is. I've seen none of that. Speaking of beat writers, on not seeing chemistry progress from Roman Wilson to this point in camp, Mike. I don't know which beat writer it was, but they said that they are not seeing that. And Mike, I think we could also confirm that by him being way, way down on the depth chart behind pretty much every other wide receiver on this team who's not Rock Taylor at the moment.
Yeah, we'll find out. The proof will be in the pudding.
Absolutely.
Once we start playing here.
Absolutely. It better give good. I mean, come on. These guys are missing a whole entire season for things. Yeah. We got to start getting production out of the Corey Trices and the Roman Wilsons and the Fatanus and everybody that's missing a whole entire season to start their career. You'd like to see a jump from some of these guys that are making the comeback. Of course, J.J. Galbraith is the fifth string tight end at this point. Mike, Ben Skoranek, I did mention. Okay, I'm on the wrong line. Okay, so fourth line is this, Mike. This is your fourth stringers. Trey Sermon is your running back. Skylar Thompson is your quarterback. And then again, a few names here and there. So, Mike, that's what our offense. I mean, give or take a couple names. Yeah. Looks like at this point. We heard the go ahead, Mike. Anything about the rest of the offense?
Oh, God, no. Just maybe I think Ben Skoranek, I think he was on the third string as well. He's going to make that team anyway. He's on the
third string. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good.
Roman Wilson and I got to be honest. Again, I mean, we're Steeler fans. We're saying, this Ben Skoranek. I seen him make big plays. But again, when it comes down to elite athletes playing in the playoffs, I'm not looking towards Brent Skoranek to be my guy, and I don't even know why people are getting that excited about him. If he could come in and make a couple plays here and there, that's a big thing for a receiver. I don't know why people go on and on about this Ben Skoranek and Scotty Miller, even, to be honest. Yeah. But I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, like people want to shit on our offense and our coaching staff, like they can't turn anyone into good players, but somehow everyone's expecting Scotty Miller and Ben Skoranek, who have been in the NFL for years now, to have these breakout years with the Steelers. It's just kind of funny. But no, Ben Skoranek, I like him because he's a damn good special teamer. And last year he made some key catches, but you can't count on him to do that drive in.
Again,
he is what he is at this point.
And football in January, I don't care about some big catches. I need consistency throughout the season.
Yeah. He is what he is at this point.
Ben Skoranek and Scotty Miller does nothing for me.
Nothing whatsoever.
They round out the bottom of the wide receiver room. That's the best I can say. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Where am I at?
Defense.
No, let's see right here. John, I'm going to go to the board. John says Rodgers' mobility discussion will be answered with time. I do watch tape. He gets rid of the ball fast for a reason. He's doing it. Absolutely. But also you're seeing some other problems. I mean, again, there are notes coming out of camp like that the offense just doesn't look like it's clicking. It's not the fact that they're playing against the defense. It's supposed to be really good. There's just a lot of things that aren't clicking that they'd like to see click better. But again, lucky we still have 3 weeks to go. Tortilla says lock down. Go ahead.
I was going to say the short and intermediate passing, like those quick slants and outs, are what I've read are looking good. It's like the deep balls and the deep corner routes.
The check downs are looking good.
But no, like that intermediate, using the middle of the field that everyone's bitching about that we haven't used, is working.
One thing I totally can't wait for this football season, Mike, is to see more check downs. That's all I got to say.
Hey, I want to see the middle of the field used well. So I
don't want it, Mike. If I see one check down,
field in those
I'm going to smash my head off to
10
something.
to 15 yards. It's the 20s plus is what they need to be.
Obviously, like an average quarterback should be able to do, throw the ball downfield. This shouldn't be a problem. Like, again, it happens all the time for some reason. We just can't get it together. Tortilla says lock down the Porterhouse. Jen says, did you see Alan Sanders tweet about Darryl Porter Jr., Joey Porter Sr., and then Joey Jr. and Darryl Jr.? Crazy stat. We do got the couple Porter Juniors right now in the
There's a lot of
secondary.
Porter Juniors.
In the secondary alone. Justin Arrington, what's up, brother? Always great to see you, man. Welcome back to the board. Justin says only hurting at wide receiver and left tackle. Feel good otherwise. Yeah, for the most part, I would agree. There's still a lot of questions to be answered on offense. Again, we're replacing what we had last year with Aaron Rodgers, which I'm feeling good about. I think that's an upgrade. But again, we're kind of all expecting the best case scenario from Aaron Rodgers. And again, I mean, if that was the case over the past 10 years, the guy might have, he was in the Super Bowl 15 years ago. I don't know. Again, we will see. The Steelers must take the handcuffs off and not play safe, and the offense will have a chance. It hasn't been just players and schemes the past few years. It's a paranoid philosophy. That was from John. RB says Roman Wilson is floating his breaks. He don't run clean routes. Yeah, every day I'm hearing something a little bit more negative about Roman, and I'm not liking it. I really wanted to see a big season from him, a step-up season. Tortilla said Roman was only good because he had J.J. McCarthy, because he and J.J. McCarthy cheated.
Never proven, brother.
Tortilla says Roman's about to watch from the sidelines as we Hulk smash his Pookie in crime. RB says, well, Scotty is probably faster than Austin and he's bigger. That's the only thing that Austin has going for him to this point. I would take Calvin Austin over Scotty Miller 10 times out of 10.
Me too.
I just would.
Yeah.
I just would. Tortilla says DK average at best on 50-50 balls. Quick slants or where him and Rodgers will eat. You know what? But that's where we need to be eating. We haven't used quick slants enough over the years, and I can't wait, especially if they work and we can be productive. We can move the ball. It's going to be I can't wait to see quick slants over the middle. John says Ben Skoranek is the underdog guy that some folks attach their misguided emotions to him to feel good. Fans would do better leaving their emotions for family, not paid strangers hired for entertainment. It's a hell of a good. That's a good point.
I love the philosophy of John. I love it. You need to write a book.
RB says checkdowns work, 3-7 passes yard work when ran right, not the Kenny run around for. But again, if you can't do many other things, it becomes again. There comes the Pittsburgh Steelers with their game plan. It's going to be checkdowns. Good teams are going to beat us all day. We have to become more than what we are.
You got to mix in the checkdowns, the intermediate, the deep. It's got to be a nice little healthy mix of all of them.
Tortilla says Austin goes zoom when he runs by. That's what he has. Absolutely. The guy is so fast.
Great footwork, too, in and out of his breaks, too, and his routes.
Let's jump down to the defense, Mike. This is what your starting defense for the Pittsburgh Steelers looks like as of right now, as your first depth chart was released, guys. Here we go. Nose tackle, Keanu Benton. Left tackle, Cam Hayward. Defensive end, Derek Harmon, everybody. Our rookie, that's one thing as a rookie first-round guy, you got to expect to start. If you're being brought in to fill a hole, Derek Harmon is getting that chance. Our linebacking core looks like this. Inside, Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson. On the outside, TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. In our secondary, looks like this. Darius Slay at left cornerback. Joey Porter Jr. at right cornerback. Jalen Ramsey at nickelback. Deshaun Elliott at strong. And Juan Thornhill at free. I'd certainly say it's an improved defense, Mike, because last year, you could say things about, of course, losing Minkah Fitzpatrick compared to what we have now. But I think the Dante Jackson moving on and Slay in his spot, I think that's an upgrade, Mike. Also, having Jalen Ramsey just at your disposal is certainly an upgrade. And then you also got your Beanie Bishops, your Brandon Eccles, your Chuck Clarks. I mean, there's plenty. We have ample DBs back there, Mike, to where this shouldn't be a problem. This may be one of the best secondaries we have in my recent memory.
In a long time. And Luke Kuechly, when he was going over defenses on one of the Talking Head shows, he was like salivating over the Steelers, especially like when he found out they had Jalen Ramsey, because I think he found out like a day after he was on this program. He's like, you add Jalen Ramsey to what they already had there and just getting what they got in Slay and everything, he's like, this defense should be a top 5 in that secondary. He should be one of the best in the league. And you can your top four defensive backs, Porter, Ramsey, Slay, Elliott. That's a nice top four. Then you can rotate in Chuck Clark and Thornhill as needed. Jalen Ramsey is able to move around from inside to outside, back into safety. It's a damn good secondary. Damn good secondary. And if like Slay starts to slow down, okay, you have Ramsey, then you can slide Bishop and Eccles into rotate with Slay at a different spot. So you're not losing a lot if someone like starts to play bad for a game or two, like, hey, we want to shake up the corners. You have plenty of depth there to where you can just kind of keep the ball rolling and keep doing what you want to do. I like this secondary.
Let's take a look at the backups, Mike. This is what your second team, your potential starters again. And any given play, these guys can be a starter in the NFL. Injuries very unpredictable, and again, it can end your career in just a blink of an eye, guys. This is what your defense looks like as backups. The defensive line looks like this. Your tackle behind Cam Hayward is Isaiah Loudermilk. Your nose tackle is Daniel Ikule. Defensive end Logan Lee. Left outside linebacker. Now, this is a battle, Mike. It's going to be between DeMarvin Leal and Jack Sawyer. Of course, the rookie versus the underapprover. Yeah. I'm going to be interested to see how this plays out, Mike. And the thing about it, I wanted DeMarvin Leal to be good all these years. I wanted him to get better. But now you got a rookie. Like, I don't want him. I mean, I want him to step up. But it just pisses me off the fact that he's going to step up now. That we've got a guy. Where were you the past 3 years when we needed you? That's my take on Leal. If it comes down to him, the rookie, the young kid who has a lot of upside, I'm going to go with the young kid at this point, only because I went on and on and on about how I liked him. I thought that he had potential, and he let me down every year, like DeMarvin Leal.
Exactly, and he let the Steelers down too, and he even admitted it. Like, hey, I came in my second year with a big head, and then last year, he fell flat after admitting he came in with a big head. Like, I don't want this. It would be awesome if this is the year he figures it out, but okay, whose spot are you going to take? You're not going to take Sawyer's spot. You're not going to take Herbig's spot. Where are you going to go? Because you're too big to play outside linebacker, too big and too slow. You're not big enough to play DN.
You should have tried to figure this out years ago, dude. Yeah. That's all I got to say. He's going to be somewhere else and won't be long.
I think he's playing to get onto another team or onto the practice squad.
Let's continue, Mike, with our linebackers. Of course, that was your left outside. Your right out. Your right outside is Nick Herbig, of course, behind Alex Highsmith over on that side. And in your middle backups are Malik Harrison, former Raven, and Cole Holcomb. If he could stay healthy, Mike, they are your backup linebackers. And then your secondary, and I say that loosely because there's guys that are injured at the moment.
Yeah.
Like the very next guy I'm going to say, your left cornerback, Mike Corey Trice Jr., is your second string at this point. Your right cornerback is Brandon Eccles. Your backup safeties are Miles Killebrew and Chuck Clark. And your nickel is Beanie Bishop. We've seen good things from Beanie, Mike. I'd like to see Beanie have another year like he had last year, maybe even more, because here he came in as an undrafted. He came in and I think intercepted a couple passes last year. One, it was certainly in a big game situation. Like
two against Rodgers,
being a backup nickel, I like Beanie Bishop.
Yeah, I think right now at this point of his career, the less Beanie Bishop is, the more Beanie Bishop is better. Less is more with him. Because last year he was thrust into that spot, probably not ready yet. And being in the backup, being a rotational piece, I like it for him. Let him learn because he has potential. Let's grow him. I like Eccles. Corey Trice, I think he might not make the team due to the injuries. Killebrew, he's your special teams ace. He's going to be in there. I don't think you're going to see him a whole lot on the defense, but I think you're going to see a whole hell of a lot of Chuck Clark. And you're going to see a lot of Chuck Clark out there. And I tell you what, this whole backup defense, like even our linebacking core, there's probably teams in the league that would take our four backups and make them their starters. Not because these guys are all world talents, but these guys are damn good players. On most teams, they could all be starters or fight for those starting spots. Here, they're just stuck behind some of the best at their position. So I love that linebacker.
Listen, I'm going to be honest, Mike. Cole Holcomb, I haven't seen him do anything yet. He's been very minimal since he's been here. I hear nothing about great things about him. I don't know. I mean, you have to really go back and tape to find anything because Cole Holcomb's been injured ever since he's been here for a couple seasons. So that's the one that I question, Mike, in this backup core. Another one's a rookie and Sawyer, Malik Harrison. So it's again, I mean, they're really good. We have a good backup core, but point taken. Let's move on, Mike. The third string, Mike. This is your third string players on the defense. Otamiyu, Mike, the Ziwi Otamiyu, whatever that gentleman's name is, he's backing up Cam Hayward's spot as the third. Black is backing up our nose tackle position behind Keanu Benton. Kyler Baugh, we just signed
who the hell's Skylar? Yeah, I was going to say, who the hell's Kyler Baugh?
We just signed him last week, Kyler Baugh. Also, another guy that's not going to be
Kyler
here.
Baugh sounds like a middle reliever.
Also, Mike, and then our linebackers, Devin Harper, DeMarvin Leal, or Jack Sawyer, Mark Robinson, and then Leota. That is our third string linebacking core. And then our secondary has these names: Dante Kent, James Pierre, Sebastian Castro, Quindell Johnson, and Cameron McCutcheon are your third string DBs. And then some fourth string names: Mike Braden Fahoko, who we just brought back for defensive line depth. He played here with us. He just left, actually. Yeah. Also, Carson Bruner, draft pick this year out of Washington. And, of course, Mark Bruner's son, the former tight end of the Steelers. Deshaun Jameson, Kyler McMichael. So, there's those various names at the end, Mike. And now let's hop down to any comments on the defense. Maybe we'll read some comments and then go check out.
Yeah, like Dante Kent, hopefully he can be healthy enough to play. I want to see what he can do because Micah Parsons from Cowboys was singing his praises. And Sebastian Castro, the undrafted rookie free agent out of Iowa, he had some, people were talking about him as a late round pick, and everyone passed on him. I want to see what he has. I want to see what he can do. He made some plays at Iowa. He doesn't have like blazing 40 times, but he was always in the right spot for Iowa. So I want to see if he has anything back there.
All right, let's jump on the board. Let's catch up a little bit here, Mike, and then we'll touch on special teams. Sorry, Justin Arrington. What's up, brother? He says maybe Omar can hit up the Bucks. They have some good dudes at wide receiver. Good to see you guys today as well. You as well, my friend. Thank you, Justin. Always great seeing you on the board, sir. RB says, I have issues now. Why does the number 3 and 4 D end outweigh the number 1 nose tackle by 40 pounds? Yeah, I mean, Keanu Benton, Mike, big season. We need a big season from Keanu Benton, I think, to really have this defense be what people are saying it is and what people are thinking they're going to be. Because the nose tackle, I mean, obviously with your star-studded linebacker core, your star-studded defensive backfield, Cam and then the rookie, I think Keanu Benton's the one that really has to come out of his shell and overachieve, if you will.
He has to, but people got to realize that we're not. This isn't 08, 010. Or 2010. We don't run the base 75%.
I just need him to run his position as effectively as possible, whatever we do.
25% of the time we've run the 3-4, and he's not going to be that space eater. He's that guy who beats you on quickness.
Did he beat a lot of people on quickness last year?
He beat a lot of people on quickness. He just didn't finish the play. So now they need him to finish the play. He was getting back in the backfield. So make the fucking tackle. That's my issue with him, is when he gets back there and he disrupts the play, you gotta make the play.
Tortilla says Derek Harmon is going to get more almost sacks than Myles Garrett this year.
Yeah, I think he will. He'll get a lot of boo Ascarias. They just better turn into a play. Someone else better clean up. Or he better clean up.
Also says at RB, so we can escort the running back up the middle without a scratch. Mark Malone, what's up, brother? Always great to see Mark Malone on the board in his animated comments. He says it beats the gay cock burns for sure.
Whoa, brother.
I like it. RB says the Steelers let down DeMarvin Leal when they drafted an awful scheme fit and had zero plan for him. Sean says no doubt that D is better. The O just must do its part and sustain drives to keep them fresh at the end of the season, end of games, and the end of the season. Jen says I hope they don't wreck Beanie. Mike, you really like that beanie, don't you?
No, not really.
I thought you were the beanie fan. Come on,
No, that was someone else who was here. He went to WVU.
Oh, that's right. Brian liked the Beanie. I liked Beanie. Why don't you like Beanie?
He's all right.
Oh, I thought you liked Beanie.
It's like I don't hate him.
I think you hate Beanie.
I don't hate Beanie.
Tortilla says just bought Broderick Jones' signature shoes. I've fallen 7 times and can't find my way out of the store. And this is a store that you've been going to your whole life, I bet, too. John says TJ in your hands can't tie them. Or B says, why the fuck is Pierre still here? I mean, take a look at someone else. Everyone knows Pierre is the kind of shit that would pass through a screen door. Absolutely.
Special teams, baby.
But you know what?
Special teams.
Being a third string guy, he's been in the system. He's almost one of them pieces like, why even go out and try to find somebody to teach the system? This guy's your third string guy. He kind of knows what's going on. And in a pinch, they bring him in on a secondary. But as Mike said, I think special teams is more his forte at this point anyway in his career. Let's see. John says, who's walking in the boot? Dante Kent. Yes, Dante Kent is in a boot. Any scoop on that, Mike?
No. I was going through injury reports trying to find updates. I didn't see anything anywhere.
And then finally, RB says, Mike, I agree. Then just change the fucking base. You can't run 2 DL, 2 defensive line, and have no beef and expect to not get run over. That's exactly. Let's get into the special teams, guys. Not a lot of surprises, but nonetheless, we will touch on special teams. They have, the starting punter as Corliss Waitman or Cameron Johnston. Could go either way at this point. I would take either one of these guys. I want to see some of this Cameron Johnston spin, though. A lot of good talk about the way his the ball bounces and moves when it hits the ground. That's something that kind of piques my interest. But don't get me wrong, if Corliss Waitman is our starting punter, I would be thrilled to death. I thought he was amazing last year. I think there was one punt that was undesirable through the course of the season. It was a really short punt when we needed it not to be. However, I would take any one of these guys. But again, I'd like to take a look at the other guy now just to see what he got. Again, a lot of movement on his punts, and placement is fantastic from what I hear.
Yeah.
Kickers, Mike. Chris Boswell, no two ways about this. But Ben Saws, Ben Saws, the former kicker at Pitt, also got a leg on him. He is our backup. Whether he is whatever they do with him, I don't know. But I think Ben Saws will be kicking in this league for a long time once somebody that could use him gets their hands on him.
Yeah. Unfortunately for him, he's not going to beat out Boz.
And I don't think anybody's expecting it unless Boz goes down, which again we've seen in the past. But again,
talk about a devastating injury we cannot have. We cannot have one to Boz.
No. Christian Kuntz, of course, is our long snapper with Tucker Addington backing him up. Holder is no different from your punters. It's listed as Corliss Waitman or Cameron Johnston. Kickoff return is listed as Kenneth Gainwell and Jalen Warren. And your punt returner is listed as Calvin Austin III and then Scotty Miller. Mike, any notes on the special teams?
No. And I think all the starters are going to be the way it is. I think Cameron Johnston's going to end up being the starter if he is healthy, because he has a better overall leg for distance and for placement.
All right. Tortilla says Jen, our 7th round pick. I think he's just going back to Jen's last comment. Okay, yes, on the Dante Kent. Jamal says we have 6 interceptions last year by 2 players barely getting playing time this year. Do you know who they are? 6 interceptions by 2 players. I know Beanie had a couple.
Beanie had 3.
Who's the other one?
I can't remember the other one. I'm going to cheat and pull up the stats.
I said Beanie had some. Mike goes, Beanie had 3, but I don't know.
Well, he had 3.
You literally took my answer. Who's the other person?
Dante Jackson had. Oh, Beanie Bishop had 4 actually last year.
Are you looking these up?
Yeah.
Isn't this like a quiz? Is he quizzing us and you're looking it up?
I'm sorry, Jamal. I cheat.
Tortilla said Wilson and Beanie. Fearless dude, what's up, Psycho Yinzer? What's going on, my man? He says, I hear the offense is looking iffy. Oh, boy, they are looking iffy. As a matter of fact, we're going to get into that here shortly. John says, any punter is better than Harvin. I broke more bongs watching his bipolar ass attempt to punt.
As long as it was not Terry Bongshaw, brother. That's a legend right there.
Yeah, he was rough, man. RB says, John, Harvin should have never been brought back after watching what Waitman did when he was gone. We learned that. There's no two ways we learned that for sure. And Phil, boom, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Phil. Still, it is football season. John says 18. RB, I agree. The team holds on to hope with players way too long. But I do want to say, everybody, we have a football game in just 4 days. And 4 days from now, 4 days and 7 hours, we're going to be turning on the TV to get ready to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers at Jacksonville. Unless you're going down to Florida to watch this game, guys, 7 o'clock Saturday night, Steelers at the Jaguars. It's here. Again, guys, this is important. A lot of people don't get excited about preseason, but I think this is when you learn the most about your team, and you see guys that that you heard nothing but talk about for the past 6 months. So it's going to be a good time. Everybody tuning in this Saturday night, 7 o'clock, for the Steelers at the Jaguars. RB says Cobra was such a terrible GM at the end. Absolutely, man. I agree. I think Mike would agree as well if he didn't disappear. Jamal says I love it. Dante Jackson at 5. You know what? I didn't dislike Dante Jackson. I just like this wave of guys that we got since. I like the I like the Slays. I like the Ramseys. I just like the looks. I had no problem with Dante Jackson. He was a step up. I top of my head, who did he replace from the year before? Was it Levi Wallace, or am I a season off? I don't remember. I think that Dante Jackson came in and took Levi Wallace's position, if I'm not mistaken. But I like that. I thought the upgrade to Dante was good because Levi wasn't getting it done. RB says, remember when he drafted a fucking long snapper and the dude didn't even make it to the final cutdowns? Yeah, it got bad at the end. No two ways about that. Beanie had 3. Jamal's saying, Tortilla, the thing that made Harvin good was his fakes, and we only did 1 fake with him, if I'm remembering right. And then John says, RB, every move draft or free agent goes through Tomlin. He is guilty as well. So let's get into some more things. Of course, that is what your depth chart looks like, guys, at the moment. There's going to be a cut down after this week's game, and then there'll be more cut downs after that, and then we'll be down to 53, getting ready to head into September into meaningful football when we travel to New York to kick off the season against the Jets, guys. Mike, a few things here. Speaking of the Jets, now you know how we all just value Colin Cowherd's take on sports, especially our Pittsburgh sports. Mike, this is what Colin Cowherd said. He says the Steelers, to him, they appear to be a dressed up version of the Jets. The Steelers appear to be a dressed up version of the Jets, according to Colin Cowherd. Mike, what do you make of that?
When has Colin Cowherd recently had a sports take that was not proven wrong? Lamar Jackson, you're a bust. Go play wide receiver. Don't worry. We got Josh Rosen here now.
Yeah.
We got Josh Rosen. We're good. You know, get the hell out of here. He knows he can say anything about Pittsburgh and Yinzers. We were going to click on it and react to it. He does it for rage engagement. And yeah, he's a bum. I'm sorry. When you go out and get DK Metcalf, Jonnu Smith, Darius Slay, Jalen Ramsey, that is not dressing up. We weren't letting the quarterback who came here dictate who we were going to get. We went out and built a team and said, do you want here or not? Yeah.
We don't know what all he was. We don't know what all was going on behind the scenes, Mike. Whenever he was disappeared for a while, and then we ended up signing guys and bringing people. So I mean, it's hard to say that, but it certainly wasn't. It wasn't well known in the media that these kind of things were going on here. But we did bring in some players that I would have never imagined we would have brought in years up until this year, Mike. So it's point taken.
Yeah.
Colin Cowherd. Let's grab a couple of these messages, Mike, because it seems like people do have some opinions on Colin Cowherd. Let me start here with okay, right here with RB. RB says, John, that was Colbert's downfall at some point. He just sat in his cocked chair and watched Mike F his team. John says another example was blaming Austin for the D. That is like giving Nagy credit for the Chiefs offense. Vegas says Colin was our top sports guy on the news for 6 years.
Or is that out in out in Las Vegas? Oof.
RB says didn't Colin Cowherd say Josh Allen should be a tight end?
I think so. Yeah.
Let's see. Tortilla calling is dressed up, a dressed up version of Derpy. I like that.
Hell yeah, brother.
I like that a lot. Let's see. John says clickbait Colin. He knows rage sells. Absolutely. Ugh. RB says you could tell the exact moment when Mike was making the decisions because nothing was done for scheme, fit, or culture fit. It just and just talent alone. And then finally, John says all media knows rage. See, I don't understand why you would put that up there. What people don't know? Like, it has no significance. Like, I skipped over it for a reason because like it is just responding to you personally.
Yeah.
What sense does that make to put that up on the board?
Because
is it an ego thing with you?
Yeah, because I said clickbait, Colin, and rage, and then he said the same thing, and he said bingo. He acknowledged, yeah.
Okay.
I'm having fun. I'm
just curious. I didn't know why that was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you skipped over it.
Yeah, and I did because it was a direct response. It wasn't really a comment.
Yeah.
Okay. Mike needs his ego inflated, guys.
I do.
Go ahead and put some things up on the board for him.
I do because you don't do it for me. You don't.
Now you're crazy. You're crazy as hell. All I do. It's all I do. RB says this. You can tell. Okay, Mike was.
I'm sorry.
Got that.
Yeah.
And way to keep up with the tempo of the show, Mike.
I know, right? I'm pulling a derpy right now.
John says all media knows rage sells more than sex, and folks just eat it up. Tortilla says these media folks should get drug tested too. Right?
I wouldn't pass.
If the athletes get tested, why should media get tested? Corey, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Corey on the board. Nice seeing you, my man. He says, sorry so late, guys. I need this chat every day, LOL. Are we having injury issues on the defense? Alex Highsmith with his groin, which again, at this point, I don't know if there's any surprise, Mike. It's been so regular year after year with his groin. I don't know. Yeah. This seems like it might be a budding issue.
Yeah, and well, you offered your services to go massage it out for him, so that was kind of you.
That's not nice to say about Corey. We don't know if he massages guys' groins. John says Rooney is the real person to blame. His team equals his choice. It's funny. These guys got to quit pointing fingers at one another. The GM, the head coach, and the owner at some point ought to step together and say, let's put together a good team. But it seems like there's always somebody pointing somewhere else, as far as the fans go, at least anyway. RB says people like to blame national media or local media as a bunch of hacks as well. You ain't kidding. They're almost unlistenable. Tortilla says, I still blame Mitch.
That's why everyone's coming to us, Ryan. They all suck. They're coming here.
I couldn't agree more. RB says, what's the SI guy? Stark Bean, he's a fucking moron. Knows nothing at all about football. Our local indies are much better than the local accredited media. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It's bad. They're bad. Corey says, so are we opposed to trading him for Scary Terry? Guys, I would love to have Scary Terry. I don't know how it can happen, Mike. I just don't. I think if we and guys, let me see if I can find this. Ray Fittipaldo, guys. This is a Ray Fittipaldo quote from the other day. He says, watch out for a move down the road for the Pittsburgh Steelers to add a receiver. Now, again, Fittipaldo, he's not coming out and revealing any big scoop here, Mike, but he did say, and he does spend time around the team. He says, keep an eye, maybe watch for this team to make a move to add a wide receiver down the road. I don't think it's going to be McLaurin. That is, in my opinion, Mike. Listen, I'm an all-in kind of guy. If you're going to go all in, I say go get him. Let's try to win the Super Bowl. Quit kicking his can down the road, and let's do it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't. Don't go halfway if you're going all in, Mike. But if the McLaurin thing doesn't happen, which it probably isn't, there's other teams who have more money. There's teams that have better situation for a McLaurin to come to their team and be wide receiver one, yada, 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 all these things we were talking about earlier, Mike. I do think that there's still a chance between now and the beginning of September that we do go out and bring somebody in that might be sitting at home right now. Again, that's according to Ray Fittipaldo. We will watch and continue to monitor that.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like RB said, Green Bay has so many wide receivers, and I can see us getting like Christian Watson, Tavian Wicks, Romeo Dobbs, like one of those three. John Mitchie from the Texans, maybe. I'd love to get Nico Collins from the Texans, but they would never trade him. But there's guys out there, and the free agents that we have discussed, they're all still out there as well. So if Roman Wilson looks really bad in the preseason, Robert Woods looks really bad in the preseason, look for them to go out and scoop someone up.
All right, to me, this Robert Woods, Mike, he followed last year. Who was it? Was Van
Jefferson, then Allen Robinson the year before.
Van Jefferson, Allen Robinson, and Robert Woods are all the same guy to me.
Yeah, because we did not get 1,000-yard after 1,000-yard receiving season from Chicago, Allen Robinson. We got the beat up version, and the same thing with Robert Woods. We're getting the beat up version, not the guy who was a nice contributor on a Super Bowl team with the Rams.
We got a lot. We got a lot of we've went through a lot of those Rams players, Mike, from that Super Bowl team, and it hasn't really gone well to this point. Hopefully that changes with Jalen on the other side of the ball. But Mike, also, and I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is official, but a lot of talk, Mike, that Roman Wilson's name keeps popping up for a McLaurin trade. Roman Wilson in a 2026 third-round pick seems to be the popular rumor right now.
Yeah.
How does that even sound remotely enticing to the Washington Commanders?
It does not at all. A guy who's unproven, who's getting mixed reviews from training camp. You hear good, you hear bad. No, it all depends on who you're reading about.
And after missing a whole entire rookie season as well.
Yeah. If I'm the Commanders and I'm looking to trade him, and the Steelers are the only team that's going to give me anything, and okay, I have to trade him. I want a third in Calvin Austin. Or if you're not going to do that, give me your second round pick.
Absolutely,
that's what I would do. Because you'd still have to work out a contract for Calvin Austin next year, but it'd be easier to get him a contract than it would be to get McLaurin a contract. This is if everything breaks down between those two sides. I have a feeling they're going to find a way to make it work. But yeah, and like you said, there's how many? Like New England has a shit ton of cap space.
That's what I'm saying.
To make it work easier. They probably have some other wide receivers to make it work as well.
If he was to be a Steeler, it would come down to him wanting to be a Steeler, I think. You know what I mean? I think all there's a lot of things in play here, and money, and again for Washington, they have to feel like they're getting. So it would really have to come down. He would have to want to become a Pittsburgh Steeler more than anybody else, and that would have to be the case. Otherwise, I can't imagine, especially with this proposal, Mike Roman Wilson in the 2026 third round. Coming from a team that has 30 picks in the 2026 draft, this is a fleecing in the making. And again, I don't think Washington's that stupid.
No, and the way their GM has rebuilt that team, he knows what he's doing. He's not going to be like the GM down in Miami or up in Chicago, where we're able to just dangle a set of shiny keys in front of them and they bite. This one, it would take a lot of work to do. And if the team would get a trade worked out to where the parameters were, it'd probably be a way to all right, let you and let the Steelers and McLaurin talk like a contract, even though technically would be tampering, but there's ways around that bullshit to see, okay, would it be worth pulling the trigger? Is he going to want to come here and sign? Is he going to show up? And all that bullshit that would have to go with it right there. But I would like to see it happen, but like I said the other day, I think I gave it a 15%, 25% chance of happening. It might be even less than that, but it would be awesome if it happened, because you go balls to the walls and see what happens. And if you have Terry, you sign him long term. Guess what? You're drafting your quarterback of the future next year anyway. Why not have a ready-made roster for him, to where he looks at one side of the ball? Oh, I got a Pro Bowler. Oh, I look at the other side. I got a Pro Bowler. I look at my tight ends. Hey, I got two really good serviceable tight ends that can catch, one who can block for me. I have a nice team built around me. Keep building that team. Go
like the general consensus. I know this is going to kind of go against your philosophy, but I've been seeing on the internet. I've seen a couple of times yesterday, fans saying that what do we even need Pat Freiermuth for anymore? They said we have such a playmaker in Jonnu Smith, and then the other guy is such a big person with a lot of upside. People were saying why. Because of course I think Pittsburgh Steelers fans across the world are wondering why we have so many tight ends. But there was two different conversations I saw yesterday that said, is Pat Freiermuth even still needed? on this team.
If you want to run that 2 tight end set and where they can be your pass catchers, you need them. He did have 7 touchdowns last year. He led the team in touchdowns. Well, my big thing with Frymouth is he does have the fumbleitis. I mean, he does seem to fumble at the
I think he's good. I think he's good.
He's a solid tight end. I don't think he's ever going to get up to that where we thought he would be breaking into like that top 7, top 5 echelon of tight ends. But he's going to be that guy that's going to get you those tough catches across the middle. He's athletic. He's not, a George Kittle athlete, but he's a good tight end.
Again, I thought he was a solid piece, and he's a part of the team being built. So to see this again, it was in 2 different posts. I thought maybe I'm missing something. Is there something out there that I'm not seeing?
Yeah.
But again, I think he's good. And again, Mike, his numbers add up for what it is that we could do. It wasn't like we haven't had great passing. We haven't had great a whole lot of anything, to be honest with you, for a couple seasons. I thought he's just fine. But it was, again, Mike, 2 different times I saw it. I thought, what am I missing? Maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah.
But I think we have a lot of tight ends.
Yeah,
and if you have to play odd man out, I guess you got to play these games. But again, I wouldn't think that.
His best year was with Big Ben.
It's the money, Mike.
They
kept saying it's the money. He's making a lot of money to
he's
be
making 12
one of 5 tight ends. I mean, that's
we got Johnny for this year next, and we got Fryermuth for this year in the next 3 after. So he's going to be here. Johnny's here for the next year and 2. That's it. So he's going to keep being that guy, and I think he's going to have pretty good numbers this year. It probably, if he gives me another 653 yards and 7 touchdowns this year, I'm fucking happy with that. I will take that.
I would have seen the big guy get a lot more action, man. Remember last year when he was jumping over guys and running people over?
Those quick outs that they would start games with. That little 4-yard pass that would go for a quick first down because he was hurdling people. And some of the videos I saw, they were working on him running out routes and fade routes and corner routes in the end zone. And he was just jumping over people. And of course, he doesn't have to really jump that high, but he was just high pointing the ball higher than anyone else. And just his hand just crushes that football. You can't even see he's holding a ball. I want to see him used more this year.
Absolutely. Mike, let's move on. We're starting to get buried with messages here.
Oh, I know they're coming in hot and heavy.
Let's see. John says, let Alex rest until the regular season. No need to make things worse. But what's he going to do? Is he going to come back and hurt his groin during the season? It's starting to become a concern again, guys. 21, he hurt his groin. 23, minor groin strain. He played through it. 24, groin strain during training camp. Then during 24, he missed some games when he got hurt in week 3 with the groin. And then now again, the groin in camp. This is not good to see from Alex. Let's move along. RB says, who's the mouthy bitch who's in Cleveland anymore, who can't even do interviews here anymore because she was choking on Kenny's knob, a daddy or something like that. I took shit's more football savvy. I'm not sure.
Aditi Kikabala.
Is that who?
Yeah, she's always on the fan with Pony and Muller.
I don't listen to them.
I cringe when I turn my car on and it's on their station. Ugh.
Vegas says Omar will trade a late round pick for a wide receiver that is about to get cut, is my guess. Tortilla says we'll probably trade for Tank Dell and still have the same problem.
I would love to have Tank Dell, but he is injury prone and a bullet magnet, just sitting there at the club trying to leave when he sensed trouble and got shot. Poor kid.
John says, I say that Will Howard as many first string snaps as possible. They knew who Mason is by. Absolutely. He's gonna play a ton. I think Will Howard is gonna play a ton in the preseason, guys. I wouldn't worry about that. RB says, why trade for Tank Dell? We don't need another wide receiver who can't ride the roller coasters at Kennywood on team building day. John says the only hope is that the Bears are still stuck on stupid and will take Wilson. I tell you what, the Bears are never not stupid, huh?
They extended their GM too. I love it.
Corey says, I thought about my answer for last week, and if we trade for Terry, then it needs to be Highsmith and a 6 because we would still need to pay him, and we just want to keep our draft capital just in case. Roman Wilson is the 8th and final world wonder, Tortilla says this. RB says, Romeo Dobbs is the guy they need to target. The actual route runner that we were missing. You can say Kyle runs good routes. You can't depend on a dwarf with no catch radius for 17 games and maybe more. Corey says, or Calvin Austin third and a third, and pay him. That way we still have draft capital for the needs in the offseason, and Washington still gets rid of a headache and opens up their cap space as well as getting a draft pick. I think they want him, and they're gonna pay him his money at the end of the day. They like what they got from him. Like they like what they added Devo. They got some things going on in Washington. They made it to the NFC Championship game. I just can't imagine they want to lose a lot from the team that got him to that point.
And he has put up consistent numbers with shitty quarterback play. Like that guy has been a loyal soldier, and like I hate, oh, you just got to pay a guy because he's been here forever. That guy has been there forever, been loyal, and has produced for you, been your only weapon. Reward him.
Jen says, did you hear what Miami's head coach McDaniel said? It's a great day because it's one day closer to being dead.
Hell yeah, brother. I saw that. Like, that's my motivational poster.
Tortilla says, at RB, that was a joke. We'd probably trade for another midget. Mike Tomlin probably makes all the tiny wide receivers wrestle for a roster spot. Mike, and we do have midget wrestling. We do have midget wrestling coming to Pittsburgh in not too long. I don't know when, but I did see a post the other day. Midget wrestling will be here in the Berg before you know.
Who'd have thought Derpy and Tomlin have something in common?
What do they have in common?
Midget wrestling. Midgets. Their love of midgets.
Well, Tomlin's not a midget. Just
no,
Derpy.
but all of his wide receivers are.
No. RB says Johnny Smith is a wide receiver, not a tight end, no matter what they list him as. Mooch trash, Jamal says. Also, RB, I remember when people thought Muth was Gronk 2.0 and being scolded by Steelers Nation when I said to curb that optimism. John says big physical wide receivers are needed. The D's will jam all off the line. DK and Jay Smith, the ones who have shown that they can handle that continuously. RB says Washington was lining up outside, even in the middle of the field drills.
Whew.
He's such a big guy. I can't wait.
Beast.
I mean, down in the red zone, geez, oh man, if you don't use that guy, you're just not doing it right. Because you want to know what? If somebody else had him, they would certainly be using it against us, and it would certainly be working. We would be, let's see. Tortilla Muth is a top 12 tight end. Needs a good quarterback. He was decent with Ben, and I bet he'll be good with. And the thing was, he's been good all along. As a matter of fact, his numbers match up against every tight end that's ever played here, ever. I mean, against Heath Miller to this point in his career, I mean, his numbers aren't bad. What has Pat Freiermuth done that's upset anybody? At this point, I think he's just starting to make more and more money every year that comes around, and at some point, that's going to be something they're not going to want to pay the guy a certain amount of money. So, again, we have 53 tight ends. I don't think we're ever going to have an issue at this point. But again, I don't see any problems with Freiermuth. I'd like to see him make a little bit more yak, Mike. He has the white guy catch the ball, get hit, and go down syndrome, and I would like to see him continue to maybe make a hurdle over somebody or lower his shoulder and continue to run downhill and fall forward to gain yards. I don't know what that is, where these stiff white ends all of a sudden for the past 25 years they get hit and dropped. Maybe if he can advance beyond that, I would love him. But until this point, Mike, he's solid. He's solid, and again,
he's very solid. Like the only bummer was really like 2023 when he missed 5 games. So that was the only disappointing year. He had like 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Before that, his rookie year started out 7 touchdowns, just under 500 yards. Next year with Kenny Pickett, 700 yards, but not a lot of touchdowns because, we had trouble scoring offense last year. Then last year he rebounded, back up to over 600 yards, 7 touchdowns, a productive tight end. With a limited passing attack, that's not bad. Now, if we were, like a Detroit offense or Kansas City offense where we're scoring points a whole hell of a lot, and this is all we're getting out of our number 1 tight end, I would be very concerned. But, for our limited passing game, and this is what we're getting out of them, that's worth its weight in gold, what we're getting out of them.
Jamal says, why the F is Connor still on this team? And then John
Good
follows
question.
that up. Well, John answers it really well, actually, on the very next comment, because Cam is the reason. Mike, if Cam Hayward wasn't on this team, was never on this team, if he left this team, Connor Hayward would not be on this team either. I could guarantee you that. Tortilla goes on to say that Connor's our mascot. RB, it's not all money with Terry. Terry is a route runner. Yak Yard, Daniel's timing throws are junk, and his anticipation is shit. He's that mold of buy time and chuck it up. The league will figure him out. I mean, they are doing something right, though. You got to say, being one game from the Super Bowl, only losing to the champions was not a bad thing. But I feel your point, though. I mean,
completing 70% of his passes ain't bad either.
Let's see. Corey says, Jamal, did you just say Muth is trash? How is he trash? He doesn't even get looks. Our check down moonball quarterbacks don't even look his way. Sticky B, what's up, brother? What you know about Sticky B? Sticky B says, what's up, sexy people? Cheers to surviving Monday. That's right, baby. Tortilla, Pat Fryermuth, Mark Malone, another derpy entertainment promotion.
Him and those midgets, brother.
John says Muth's biggest asset is his closed mouth. Hey,
Smile and nod, boys. Smile and wave.
RB says Connor will make the practice squad just so Cam don't cry. Absolutely. What would Cam do without little Connor around?
Right. Well, what did he do for the first 50 years of his career?
Tortilla says Connor plays in a lot of sports. He will make the spots. I'm sorry. He does play in a lot of spots. He will make the roster. He's versatile. That's the thing. You can stick him in anywhere. And Connor
special teams.
Play special teams. You could even hand him a ball off at a weird point in the game, and people winning. I mean, we've seen that happen.
And he gets you a first down. Yeah, and keep a drive going. Like he's not a bad player, but he's not a great player. Not a great He does stuff. He's serviceable. If his name wasn't Hayward, I probably wouldn't hate him.
And then RB says it's that offense. Look what Murray did as a rookie. Mike, let me read you something here. This is something that Pat Fryermuth says about Fatano. A lot of people are wondering about Fatano. Of course, he missed damn near his whole season last year as a rookie due to injury. Pat Fryermuth says Fatano hasn't missed a step. Troy's been great. He has attacked his rehab very well, and he's out there. He doesn't even look like a rookie. He looks like he played all last season. He's really super smart. It's fun to go and block and fun. It's fun to go and work and block on triple teams, combinations, and things like this with him. And he's always communicating, Mike. So to hear Fryermuth say this about Fatano that's kind of a big thing, Mike.
Encouraging, yeah.
Especially on the other side of the line with the issue we're having with Broderick Jones. I at least like to hear these good things about what's going on the right side. The guy's a rookie, didn't play much. Basically, this is his rookie season. Yeah. So those are encouraging things to hear about Troy Fatano.
Yeah. And it's good to hear, for someone who only had 55 snaps last year to come back and playing like someone who's been in the league already, having that communication is key on the line. You don't want your dummies on the O-line. You want your smart guys on the O-line because they have to call out every single protection, especially the center, and the guards and tackles got to communicate to each other.
Of course, as we were saying earlier on the board, Mike, I mean, they're building their team similar to what the Eagles are, the way they built their team, and we hit early and we hit often on the offensive line, and so this we're hoping that this is a hit for us because so far so with that strategy.
With Broderick Jones, it's not looking good. Hopefully Fatano is. I'd be very fucking worried if both our tackles were shit.
Let's see here. Tortilla, I think this is where we're at. Saves our DBs and linebackers from playing and risking injury on special teams. Connor Hayward, I'm guessing. Connor Hayward.
Yeah.
And then RB says Connor problem is he doesn't have a NFL player's body. No, he does. He has a midget wrestler body.
Like he has that frumpy looking build that you would see someone working at Lowe's pushing out the lumber to help you.
And Tortilla says, yeah, Connor's built like a pit bull. Mike. So those things are encouraging. But the one thing that I had seen yesterday that really stood out to me was the fact that Aaron Rodgers is just I don't know now. Not looking great, and I think that no one's expecting him to look great, but I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear that Aaron Rodgers isn't things just aren't picking up and clicking the way they should be. And everyone's always going to turn around and say, well, the offense or the defense is so good. The defense is so good. But, that only goes so far, Mike. What is it about this offense that's scaring people right now? And again, just little things like this, the fact that they're saying that Aaron Rodgers isn't looking great. I'd like to hear something a little bit more encouraging coming out about this offense, Mike.
Because what I'm hearing is it's the
third team. The third team is getting all the praise. In the first team, and especially the first team quarterback, Mike, they're saying just it's not looking like it's coming together.
From what I'm reading, it's just the deep balls aren't coming together. Everything else is looking good. The dump offs, the shorts, the intermediate.
Nobody cares about the checkdowns, though, Mike, because again,
I'm talking about the middle of the field is looking good. It's those deep passes that
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, what this turns into? That turns into a lot of checkdowns because once people knows that you're going intermediate. Guess what the next option is? You're checking down. If you can't throw the ball down the field more than 15, 20 yards, see what I'm saying? Those things need to improve. If we don't improve past what it was the guys that were just here were doing, maybe you could add one more little wrinkle, like be able to hit something over the middle where the other guys weren't. Is that really an improvement, Mike? And again, we're all in Pittsburgh. We're all kind of hoping for a bit of a jump from what it was that we just had. But from what I'm seeing recently, it's looking like it's going to be a little bit more of the same than what we just had as far as our offense.
I'm still optimistic because I want to see it in action, not in practice.
Absolutely.
I want to see it in game situation. I want to see it with my own two eyes, not just going off of bad angles of stuff being recorded and going off of other people's firsthand accounts. I want to see with my own two eyes of what's happening. I want to see the actual film.
What are you doubting the third team is looking good?
Well, if the third team O is going up against the third team O defense and looking good, okay. But now if the third team offense.
But wait a minute. But you'll take those words then against taking the first people that are giving you their take on the first team. Then that's not right.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not at all. Okay, well, as long as you admit that, then that's fine.
I admit that. We know this.
Okay.
I want to see. I want to see how they look against another defense.
Absolutely.
In live action.
Tell me something
I want to see with my own two eyes and not just base it off of anyone else's reports. I need to see it before I can have my own true judgment.
Absolutely.
Of how they're actually looking. How's the line looking? How's the?
I'm just telling you. I'm just putting out what's reported. You could do whatever you want with that. John says Rodgers has no time. That's another thing. He's not having. He doesn't have the time back there. And again, it's not going to be hard-boiled defense. I mean, there's eventually going to be guys that are getting ready to tear your head off. They're going to be moving fast. They're going to be moving hard. And again, going against the defense who isn't really playing defense. They're going through the motions, obviously. But again, the game is a whole different story, Mike, and that is something we will start to see this weekend. Certainly, maybe it's certainly the first drive for Aaron, but beyond that, who knows? RB says it's not even the defense is good; it's a factor, but we're not scheming to run against our defense from day to day when they are scheming to stop the offense because 10 other teams run similar O's. He follows it up by saying no one else really runs the 2-4-5 or the 2-3-6. And one more time, he comes back and he does say this as well. We actually have a secondary good enough to run single high against the offense. Most teams won't have that kind of secondary. And Corey says AR isn't going to show us anything. He's going to hold back and preserve his body for the season as much as possible. This narrative keeps the Steelers in the underdog race, and we love it. And I agree with all these things that everybody said, even you, Mike. But, this as far as Aaron holding back and releasing when it's time to go, wasn't that the plan in year one in New York? And they fell on his leg after the first play and it broke. So, I mean, are we crazy? Are we crazy for buying into this Aaron Rodgers thing? I mean, he's getting along with everybody. He loves the culture. People are loving him. The teammates love him. But are we crazy for getting excited about this, Mike, the same way we were last year before we knew what the Russell Wilson year was going to bring? Because prior to the season, we were all excited and we thought, you know what, this is a guy who's done things in Seattle. He was a starter his whole career. He won a Super Bowl. Are we crazy for jumping on this Aaron Rodgers bandwagon like we are here in Pittsburgh?
I don't think so. This offense this year is not going to be built on just solely relying on that deep ball that Russell Wilson can still throw better than just about anyone. It's going to be built on the zone run scheme, play action, and those quick short to intermediate routes that we can still hit on, and then you sprinkle in the deep routes. And hopefully right now it's just a timing issue of the quarterback and the receivers getting on the same page with those deep routes. Hopefully that's all it is. And I'll start worrying once I start seeing it, halfway through week 1. Like if they're not dialing it in, then I'll be like, okay, now we might be screwed on the deep ball. But as long as I can work the short to intermediate shit, that's fine. Because how many teams consistently rely on the deep ball, hitting it game in and game out, play after play? Not many.
I don't even like the deep ball. I'm going to be honest with you, Mike. If you have it in your arsenal and you could use it, there's so many other things that you have to be able to do good for that to even matter. The deep ball, you can't. Listen, if you live and die by the deep ball, you shouldn't even be an NFL offense. I mean, come on, let's be honest.
The Todd Haley offense that been around here for a long time was built on those quick passes, getting the ball into your guys' hands 5 to 10 yards down the field and let them go and do their
deep ball should be a luxury play. It really should. I mean, you're not it's always 50-50. You don't I don't love the deep ball.
And the deep ball can get your quarterback killed too behind a shaky O-line or even a good O-line,
Not a fan of the deep ball, not generally. I tell you what, when it happens from time to time and it works, I love it. I'll jump up and cheer as much as the next guy. But again, you can't live and die by a deep ball. That's crazy. That's like you're trying to live and die by the home run in baseball.
Yeah,
you're going to lose a lot by trying to get that home run every single time.
Yeah, exactly. And getting like too overexcited or too panicky over practice. Yes. I don't want to go. I don't want to go either way. But practice is important because that's where you build your habits and find everything. But
where you practice, you get better. Tortilla says, "I'm not excited, but I have more faith in this team as if they stay healthy. A lot more vets with rings on the team that I think will help us late in the season." I'm right there with you, Tortilla. I got to be honest. I think staying healthy is the key factor of this team. Because as far as we just went over the roster, we went over the depth chart, and I'm okay. I'm happy with all of our starters. If we started today with these starters, Mike, I'm fine with this. But once you start to get injuries and they start piling up, obviously you're looking at your second line of guys, your second stringers. I'm not confident with those guys playing for 17 weeks. But the first stringers, listen, we can improve here. We can improve there. We could certainly improve at the wide receiver too. We can improve on this. But what we have, as we said, as we went down through all of our starters today, I'm okay. If we started the season today, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
You just got to stay healthy. Once they start dropping, Mike, that is when you're starting to think, all right, well, this is good, but this guy has to play up to this level. Is he? Now you're worried about that. And then if you lose another guy, then it starts, as I said, it turns into the domino effect. So staying healthy, I think, is a big key to this season.
Yeah, and that's usually how you figure out who's gonna win the Super Bowl too. Is like you look at that team; they usually survive the battle of attrition. They usually made it not all the way healthy because no one makes it 100% healthy on your roster, but you didn't lose any key guys. And if you did, it was luckily at a position of depth where you could afford to lose something. Like here, I think we could afford to lose a starting inside backer. I think we have enough depth.
We can afford to lose a tight end.
Yeah, but we can't afford
linebackers.
Yeah, we can't afford to lose a tackle, or a left or right tackle. So it's it's where we have our good depth right now.
Some positions are overabundant in depth, and other positions very thin.
Yeah.
Again,
if you see that on every roster, you go through, every team's going to have certain positions they are deep at, and others they're thin at.
I think. Well, again, I think our tight ends room is an exception. I've never seen this in my life with the tight ends, but you know what, guys? If it works, it works. And again, if somebody goes down, we have ample backups, and I have no problem with backups, guys. Especially once the injuries start kicking in. Again, guys, we have to stay injury free if we want this to be a great season, at least. Let's move to a couple more of these messages here, Mike. I'm going to go right here to Tortilla. No, I'm going to go to RB. RB says, also, this is practice, and we're taking notes from fucking morons who are writing pieces to generate panic and return clicks. As always, Tortilla says, we have depth in most positions. If a few things work out, we can have a good year. If not, remember, we have no strings attached to and we have 12 draft picks again for the draft in Pittsburgh in April. RB says the people who are telling you we're fucked are the same people who told us Kenny Pickett was on the level of Joe Burrow. I don't think anybody was ever saying he was on the level of Joe Burrow, but point taken. Corey says this. He says Tomlin has to be willing to course correct no matter who the casualty is. If things go wrong, if Rodgers proves we can't win with him, Tomlin has to be ready to try the next man up. And that's one thing I don't think is going to happen. I don't think that Aaron Rodgers is pullable. I don't. I can't under any circumstance seeing Mike Tomlin yanking Aaron Rodgers at any point of the season due to his performance. I just don't. I have a hard time even forming that thought into my head.
Yeah.
I just don't. This is kind of like Aaron Rodgers' final ride, and to me, with him and Mike Tomlin being buddy, we've talked all off season on the phone. We felt like we known each other forever. I just can't possibly imagine him being yanked on performance, guys. I hate to say that, but I mean, I think it is. It would
be a lot. We would have to be sitting at like 3-8 for that to happen.
And I agree, and I don't think that that's going to happen. So I can't imagine, Mike. I can't imagine Aaron Rodgers getting yanked and then putting in Mason. I don't see it happening. Not a gambling man, but if I was, I'd safely put my money on that. John says the past few years the Steelers didn't attack the middle on O and couldn't defend the middle on D. That has to change. Absolutely. It's such a fundamental in football.
I haven't seen the Steelers successfully defend the middle of the field in 40 years. I'd love to see it happen.
Tortilla says, yeah, I'm sure that will happen. But you're right at Corey. And then RB says, I believe this is Mike's final ride too. I don't know about that one, but you might have some people that agree with you, but I don't know if it's gonna be his final ride. Whether he walk away or lose his job, I don't know. I don't know. RB says Mike said he never wants to be a part of a full rebuild. Guess what's about to happen after all these moves. And finally, Tortilla says we didn't bench Russ after 5 key losses in a row. We benched Justin after 2 losses that were arguably not as crucial. I highly doubt. That's what I'm saying. Rodgers, it's political. It's politics, baby. He's not getting yanked. He's not. You don't bring Aaron Rodgers here for his final ride to bench him. That's come on. When would you ever see that happen anywhere ever in this league? Never. Not that I could see. But Mike, let's move on though. I do want to talk just briefly about Bo Nix. Bo Nix, of course, the quarterback down in Denver. Like Bo Nix had better numbers than Jaden Daniels last year. We beat Bo Nix early in the season. Bo Nix seems to be the real deal.
Yeah. He does. I did not think he would be the real deal.
He was right. I mean, he come out of what? Oregon? Was he?
Oregon. He was from Auburn to Oregon. And
yeah.
Like the one guy I follow along who evaluates quarterbacks, he was a Bo Nix guy, and I'm like, I think this is the one you're going to be wrong on. And he was not wrong. I was not a big Bo Nix believer. I don't like these quarterbacks that come out that are like 25 years old. Almost when they get into the league. But Bo Nix, man, he's proven to, at least in that small sample size, he might be the real deal.
As a rookie, Mike, 37, almost 3,800 yards, 29 touchdowns.
Yeah.
See, this is the kind of production you're looking for from a kid. Of course, you're looking, talking Steelers. What we might draft next year. Are we going to go after a quarterback? Are we going to go with Will Howard? Nobody knows. But this is the kind of numbers you want to see if you were going to be encouraged about your young quarterback.
Yeah. 66% completion percentage. You can work with that. It's just getting getting the interceptions down. He had 12 picks last year.
It's a rookie. Come on,
get that number down and get those touchdowns up. Cat might be a really good quarterback. 12th in yards, 6th in touchdowns.
The team did a lot better than I thought they were going to, Mike, and it was all mostly because of Bo Nix. I mean, of course, they have other key players on that squad as well that we certainly know, but Mike, Bo Nix, very impressive. And the point I was trying to make was this is kind of the guy, this is what you want to see from that young quarterback. And both of these two young men that I named came out in their rookie season. Again, Jaden Daniels came out 35 almost 3,600 yards, 25 touchdowns. Bo Nix almost 3,800 yards, 29 touchdowns. So, kind of keeping these things in mind as we see Will Howard, as we go into the draft next year. It's just been so long since we've seen good quarterback play here in Pittsburgh. Unfortunately, going back into the tail end of Ben's career wasn't that great. So we're due for some good quarterback play here in Pittsburgh, Mike.
Very, very much so. And like that Denver team, man, they're building a really good defense too.
Oh, you got to like what they're doing in Denver. You got to like what they're doing in the AFC West to keep up with the Chiefs.
Yep. Like as a football fan, how can you not look at what these teams are doing and be like, oh, fuck yeah, football season is right around the corner. Like there's going to be a lot of good football being played this year. I can't wait.
I like that Charger team.
Chargers are looking good.
If you, like I said, if you look at these teams in the West, like Denver, the Chargers, these are teams that are going to be able to make a run at it with Kansas City in that division. Yeah. So, of course, the Raiders are the Raiders, but everybody else is certainly improving along the way.
Hey, the Chargers and their O-line, they might have two of the best young tackles in the NFL.
Dude, that's a good team. Dude, they're building a nice team in Los Angeles.
A very nice team.
They had a good team last year. I don't care what anybody says. Their offense, they needed pieces, but they went out and got those pieces in the offseason. You have Harbaugh as your coach. Your defense is stronger than ever, Mike. Again, this defense gave up the least amount of points in the league last year. And then adding to that, and you got to like what the Chargers are doing. It's scary.
The only thing that worries me about them is their wide receiving core. Quentin Johnston's looking to be a bust. They took him when they could have had Jordan Addison. Their best receiver is Ladd McConkey.
We think we're good because we got Skoranek. So I'm not. I'm not talking any shit on the Chargers. Let me grab a couple of these messages, Mike. We are going to start getting ready to wrap it up for the day.
Yeah.
I think Omar would be the guy to shake things up and get rid of Tomlin if we made all these moves and Tomlin still can't motivate this team or a game plan with the talent you have to make a run. Tortilla says, the thing I'm scared of is if we sign Arthur Smith as head coach, if we move on from, you know what? I think there's still a lot to be seen with Arthur Smith before we make any big decisions on him, guys. But who knows? Who knows? I don't know about Mike Tomlin not being here anytime soon. Again, Mike, it's going to be very hard to actively get rid of a guy who's never had a losing season again. And people here in Pittsburgh are going to say, I'm tired of hearing this not having a losing season. But at the end of the day, 31 other teams would look at this and say, if they're getting rid of a guy that never lost. So all you have to do is figure out how to get beyond that, learn how to build a good playoff team, make that change. And then here you go. You have a guy that wins all the time, a good foundation. So I think people would work with that in a minute. We're just we've had it up to here because we're ready for some wins and we're just not getting. But again, Mike, I think Tomlin, he's going to be an interesting situation whenever his time does come. But
it's not going to happen this year.
It's not going to happen this year. Absolutely not. Where are we? Okay, right here. RB says this. RB says, I was a massive Bo Nix guy in the right system. I said it before, and I'll say it again. Teams need to draft on fit and pure talent. Penix has a $2 million arm and $5 knees and a 10-cent head. I don't know. Lord Penix, he was what? Washington? Was he Washington?
No. Atlanta.
No, he came out of Washington. Where'd he go to college?
Oh, go to college. Yeah. Washington, I believe. Yeah, Washington.
He was in a national championship that year, and very disappointing if I'm remembering right, Mike, when he played in the national championship. They talked Penix up. I still haven't seen him do anything great. Again, that national championship game, or the playoff game, whatever that was, he was involved in 2 years ago. I was not very thrilled with Penix. John says there's tape on Nix now. The NFL will throw him some wrinkles this year. And that's it. I can't wait to see what he could do against against the defenses in the NFL, teams that are prepared for him. But year one was good. Year one was good in Denver. And then Tortilla says, don't sleep on the Broncos. They were hot at the end of last year. And if they hit on their off-season moves, they'll be scary. And then I'm going to grab Corey here, Mike, and we are going to move on. Corey says that's because bottom dweller teams don't understand the hell that we're in. Good enough to make the playoffs, but too old or too out-schemed to make a run. but not bad enough to draft top talent. So we're stuck in this mediocre purgatory, says Corey Beavers. Mike, we are going to start getting ready to wrap things up. Let me just blow through this useless knowledge. Pittsburgh Pirates, the only team in the world that the Giants can't beat is the Pirates, Mike. They came into the series against the Pirates last week, being a couple games over 500. Now they are a couple games under 500 after losing 4 straight to the Pirates this season. Game 2 of 3 in this particular series takes place today at 6:40. The Giants did lose to the Pirates yesterday, 5-4. Pirates record is currently 49-64. The Giants 56-57. The probables are Mike Burrows for the Buccos. He comes in with a 1-3 record, 3.88 and 60 strikeouts on the season. He'll be facing off against Logan Webb for the Giants, coming in with a 9-8 record, a 3.31 and 155 strikeouts on the season. Mike, but the one thing that's going to make you want to pull your hair out if you're a Pirates fan, or even if you're not a Pirates fan, Ben Cherington made this comment.
Oh, God.
And I'm sure you saw it. He said this the other day, Mike. Ben Cherington, our GM, says, we would never, this is quote, we would never make a trade in order to save money. This is what the Pirates GM, who gives away good players every year for prospects every year, he would never, ever make a trade in order to save money, Mike. Make it make sense.
That makes no sense there, brother. None whatsoever. That might be the most full of shit quote I have ever fucking heard.
If it came out of anybody's mouth besides him, I wouldn't even think for Ben Cherington to actually say that.
Like, out of the 3 GMs in town to say it, he's the one who can't say it.
Yeah.
Omar Khan can. Oh my God. What's his face over at the Penguins can say the same thing, could say it with a straight face.
And yet literally this is what they do every
year. This
idiot
right here. Yeah, we know you're full of shit.
I know one thing that's not full of shit, Mike, is when you tell everybody about the website.
The Two Dumb Yinzers, brothers. Take a look at it. We got everything you need for the Two Dumb Yinzers over there. We got all Ryan and I social media links over there. We got the dumb thoughts. Got a little merch if that's your thing. So check it out at the2dumbYinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. www.the2dumbYinzers.com. That's www.the2dumbYinzers.com. Mike, it is time for the trivia question of the day. Now, this is a general NFL question. This isn't particularly about our Steelers. We're going to be doing Steeler heavy all the way through preseason, and then, what we do in regular season. It's a lot of questions about the teams that we're playing against that particular week. But this week, Mike, is general NFL question. Put on your thinking caps. Everybody on the board, everybody at home. Here we go. Question of the day. Which is the only NFL official team logo that faces to the left? Which is the only NFL official team logo that faces to the left? Meaning that there's only one. All the other faces look to their right officially. Now, of course, you put them on helmets. You have them on both sides. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the official logo. There's only one of them where the mascot faces left. Take a minute to think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day right here on YouTube. Question of the day, everybody. Which is the only NFL logo, the official team logo, that faces to the left? For example, if you're looking at the Patriots, the face is looking in one direction, and it's the official, so not other side of the helmet means nothing. It's the official logo. Only one team's logo faces to the left. Take a minute to think that over. On the board, Tortilla has the Falcons. There's a lot of teams to choose from. This is a tough one. Corey's going to say the Patriots. Tortilla says the Falcons. Phil still says Vanilla, quit Googling.
My hands are right here, brother. Hands up, brother. Hands up.
Take a moment, Mike. I'm going to read a couple of these messages. Corey says, so we're stuck in. Okay, yes, that. We did get that one. Tortilla. We get one about every 10 years. We're going to be behind. Be mid this year, draft our quarterback next year, win the Super Bowl the year after that. Tomlin will retire and pass his team on like Bill did, or we'll just suck. Let's see. The Panthers. RB is saying, Phil's saying the Falcons. And Tortilla is saying it has to be a bird team. It has to be a bird team, he's saying. So, Mike, I see the Falcons. I see the Patriots. I see the Panthers. Tortilla is suggesting that it's a bird team. I mean, you got to remember, guys, we have like there's humans as well. There's like the Vikings and the Patriots and teams like that as well. So a lot of teams to choose from, Mike. This is difficult. This is. If you don't know, it's a hard one to guess.
Yeah, I'm going to go with. Damn. Yeah, fuck it. Let's go with the Falcons.
Go with the Falcons as well. All right.
Yeah,
So with the Falcons, the Patriots, the Panthers, some different ideas on the board. Mike, you were going with the Falcons. Is this your final answer?
Yeah, final answer.
All right. I'm locking Mike into place on the Falcons. Is his final answer, guys. The question of the day is this: which is the only NFL team, the only NFL official team logo that faces to the left? It faces to the left. A bunch of different answers on the board. Mike did say the Falcons, and that is his final answer, guys. The final answer, of course, is the Philadelphia Eagles, your Super Bowl champions from this past year. The Eagles are the only official logo that faces to the left. So there you go, guys.
Goddamn Philadelphians.
And again, if you're not looking directly at all the logos, it's almost impossible if this isn't just kind of something that you've picked out over the time. But there you go, Philadelphia, guys. Mike, anything before we get ready to start wrapping things up for today?
Hey, your Pittsburgh Pirates are only 13 out of the wild card.
Mike, and listen to this: the Pirates, if they win today, which again the Giants, they could have 50. They could have a 50-64 record, which sounds crazy to anybody in a normal society. But for the Pirates, 50-64 after 114 games is not the worst thing ever, guys. Again, 62-100 is usually what the Pirate fans expect from this team, and to be 50-64, Mike, that's a little better along than I think that some some would say.
I had I think a handful of games under 500. That's how optimistic I was.
Yeah,
and I think I overshot the mark by a bit.
And that's a good guess in Pittsburgh, Mike. I don't think realistically people should be guessing more wins than that.
No, anything over 81 is a win.
I do also want to say, if I get a chance, go check out our social media, Mike. We are on Facebook. We are on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even over on TikTok. Stop by, everybody. Check out our social media. Hit the follow button, hit the like, all that fun stuff. And if you haven't had a chance today, hit the like button below. And if you haven't subscribe. That will help us out greatly. We appreciate it.
Yes.
John did say on the board, John says they have no logo. The Browns have no logo. So that's a good point made. And then Tortilla says, hey, it was a bird team, though. My brain is completely gone.
Hey, you got it close there, brother.
Hey, you guys did well. Again, that's a tough one. I got to be honest. I tried to get you guys on this one. I didn't want to throw a softball out there. I wanted it to be tough today, and it certainly was. So, guys, great try anyway. Great guesses. To get a Slurpee. Phil still says, cheer to the Yinzers and vanilla. Get a Slurpee. Mike, anything else, man? What do you got before we go for the day?
I got nothing, man. I got nothing. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Appreciate it. You guys are the best.
Absolutely. We thank and appreciate each and every one of you for coming and hanging out today. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you so much, guys. You mean the world. Everybody on the board, you guys are amazing. You guys always keep things interesting here on the show, and everybody at home, whether you be at the gym, whether you're at work, whether you're in your car, even with the earbuds in. Thank you too. We're all appreciative for everyone. Thank you so much, guys. We couldn't do it without you. We'll be back tomorrow. We will be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again as the Steelers do pick up camp. They're back at camp today, guys, here in about another hour. They will be getting ready to go up at St. Vincent College, Mike. But again, 4 days, just 4 days. Once we come back tomorrow, we'll only be 3 days away from the Pittsburgh Steelers' first technically the first game of the season, I guess. Preseason nonetheless, guys. So we hope to see everybody back tomorrow at our regular time. For Mike in the Steeler Central Mobile Studio, for myself, the two dumb Yinzers, everybody have a great Tuesday, and we'll